Racing on Saturday takes place at Turffontein. We are racing on the stand-side track. 9 races on the program, with race number 1 set to get underway at 12 o'clock. It is, of course, a double-header on Saturday, not something that we see too often in South Africa of late, but we've got a double-header, Hollywoodbets Durbanville and Turffontein, so 2 race meetings, and hopefully we get some bumper pulls. And joining me on the line for the Turffontein selection show is Alistair Cohen. And Alistair, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks, Raheel. I'm looking forward to this Saturday. Ironically, my horse Banner Bridge is running, and I'll be at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, so I'll be watching from afar. He seems to do well when I watch from afar. So I'm hoping that he can go well in race number 4. It's a typical midwinter car. I've seen far worse meetings in my time in Joburg for this time of year, but I've also seen slightly better. There are a few horses I like on the card, and there are a few races that I don't like on the card. So I think something for everybody. Hopefully we crack it right.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, race number 1 will be the start of the meeting over 1,400 meters at 12 o'clock. It does not form part of any exotics on the day, as it is a 9-race program. And Lady Fallon is your shortest price favorite on the day come Saturday. Whichever race meeting you're playing at, I think this will be the shortest price favorite that you'll see. 2 to 10 in the market. She's a daughter of Act of War. She's returning off over 2 months layoff. 3rd on debut behind Dolcezza. She obviously sets the standard. Sam Mosia aboard, but how willing could punters be to take the 2 to 10 in a work riders event?
I'm 9 out of 10 on her chances, maybe pushing 9.5 out of 10. The reason why I'd be a little bit skeptical about 1 to 5 in the market is that Lucky Hudalakis' yard has been a little bit quiet towards the end of last season and the start of this. But you know what, Raheel, if you're going to start looking for spooks and looking for reasons to beat this horse, then you're going to be in a world of pain, because there's such little form to work with. There's nothing going for any of these others. We've got long time but battling maidens, some horses who don't look like they're going to get out the maidens in this race, and those that are lightly raced have got very ordinary form. Maybe number 7 City Lights is open to some improvement, but I'd far rather run 2 1/4 lengths behind Dolcezza than 14.5 lengths behind Forever My Dreams, even though I think Forever My Dreams is a proper horse. Lady Fallon was well backed on debut. She was expected to win. She ran on strongly behind Dolcezza, hinting that the next time she runs she'll be hard to beat. I remember watching a gallop before this race, because at the Vaal trainers tend to give their horses a spin after the last race, and I said to Lucky, "Who's that horse?" And he just grinned, and then he told me a couple of days later, he said, "No, it's my Active War filly. He's running a few days later." It wasn't my money first time either, just so Lucky knows that if he watches the show. But all in all, number 8 Lady Fallon, very, 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 very hard horse to beat. I'll be disappointed if she doesn't win, and you know what, at 1 to 5, that's the price that she is. That's the price we've got to take.
Yeah, horse number 8, race number 1, she's the horse that they all have to beat. We'll move along to race number 2, over 1,400 meters, a maiden plate that jumps at 12:30. Favorite Triconal at 18 to 10, 33 to 10 Command Pilot, 7 to 1 King of the Seas, Copper Mist 10 to 1, and Better Bar those. Now Triconal, whether you're going to be happy to take 18 to 10, given this horse is returning off a lengthy layoff, 315 days since he was last sighted at a racetrack, 2nd behind Unzen, beaten half length. It was a cracking run on debut, and after that run you would have said next time out we can have the maximum on this horse, but hasn't been seen since. And Alistair, I'm happy to take him on. This horse Command Pilot, I was so encouraged by the way he finished off his race on debut. If he had a draw, I would make this horse close to a good thing on the day, but I'm still going to be happy to take 33 to 10 about him. I think he could be quite a decent sort.
Yeah, it's a very trappy race, this, Raheel, because I agree. So Connell, I called that debut run on the 1st of October in the Bloodstock South Africa sales race, and he struck me as a proper racehorse. He looks the part, and he ran on against winners to go down narrowly behind Unzen, who, to be fair, hasn't reached the heights that were expected. He's evidently got a couple of issues, the fact that he's been off nearly a year, but the quality that he showed first time out is quality, whether you like it or not. But now whether he's going to be fit enough, ready enough to go all the way and to defy that break, I'm not convinced either. I like the run for number 8 Command Pilot on debut behind Archimedes. Form's working out well, stayed on strongly. Alec Laird's yard is firing at the moment. And then also number 11 Lord Down on Platina also ran a very good race on debut and staying on nicely behind Try Me. Now that form hasn't had much of a chance to work out, but finished in front of number 10 King of the Seas on that occasion. And with natural improvement, I'd expect number 11, Lord Danon Platina, to stay ahead of number 10, King of the Seas. So it is the first leg of the bipod. Even number 6, Gallop Pimpernel, doesn't have his legs tied up. Cabello Mazzaniani takes the ride for the Aussies. He's got to have some sort of chance as well. So it's a very tricky start to the bipod, tricky for the right reasons as well. My numbers here would be 4, 8, and 11. Top choice is number 8, Command Pilot, but I have all the respect in the world for number 4, Turconnell.
Yeah, Turconnell, certainly a horse that if he's ready, he could certainly strike at the second time of asking. But both Alistair and myself, we're going to be with the 8 horse here, Command Pilot, in race number 2. Moving along to race number 3, 1,800 meters the distance. This is a maiden plate for the fillies and mares. And here, Outer Dimension is your 6 to 10 favorite. 28 to 10, Solo Diva, 8 to 1, and Better Bar Those. Now, Outer Dimension, related to Aragosta, ran a fair race on debut, 4 lengths behind Eternal Force, and no doubt she would have come on tons with that run under the belt. Stepping up to 1,800 meters. And Mike de Cox, he's found the right type of race for this filly to get that win.
Yeah, Michael's not messing around here from the first run to the second. I watched her closely first time out, and she looked soft and she ran well enough. You know, it's quite an anomaly. I've spoken to Mike a few times about the half-brother Aragosta being by Rafif as well, and a Derby winner. You know, obviously the stamina comes from the mare side out of a Galileo mare, but with that said, you know, Aragosta, you know, with Rafif, you wouldn't have expected him to win a grade 1 over 2,400 meters and then to maintain that form in feature race level as a 4-year-old, a graded level as well. So not messing around, because by Vercingetorix you'd be inclined to think that there'd be a lot more stamina. So 1,800 meters second time out, no concern for the yard, no concern for me as well. Upwardly mobile, she can only improve from her first run, which was good enough. Perhaps no fireworks, but probably as expected from this daughter of Vercingetorix. JP van der Merwe back on board. I don't see number 8 Outer Dimension missing the first 3. In fact, I'd make her the second half of the double along with Lady Fallon in race number 1. Other horses to perhaps fill in with trifectas and quartets. Number 1 Solo Diva's been on my radar for a while. I'm slowly losing hope in this daughter of Skizzle, but because she obviously needed a couple of runs back, I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt for another run or 2. Number 4 Bomber Grigio is now ridden by Richard Ferree. A little bit more was expected from her last time out behind Leo Alado, but hoping Richard can get a little bit more out of number 4 Bomber Grigio. And you know, I think that they're actually just running for second after number 8 Outer Dimension, to be fair. Yeah,
it does look to be that way. If you're not in the camp of number 8, well then there's quite a few horses that you would possibly want to include into the mix, but Outer Dimension, the one to beat. Race number 4, 2,400 meters the distance. It's an MR81 handicap. Get those pick 6 bets on by 13.35 on the afternoon. Breeze Over, your favorite at 33 to 10, over to you, is trading at 9 to 2 in the market, along with Hoslo Grande. 7 to 1 about Battleground Rule Book. It's an 8 to 1 and Better Bar Those. And Banner Bridge is at 10 to 1 in this event, but Alistair, it's quite a competitive event. I think there's a few horses in with chances here. 6 and 9 would possibly be the 2 horses that I'd play around, but I don't think it's anywhere near as a 2-horse race.
I don't know about Hoslo Grande over 2,400 meters. I've set up my stall with him a few times on the show. I think he's a very, very nice horse, and I think that he's going to win his races. But I'm doubtful about him over 2,400 meters. Does he have the legs to get there? The mother didn't get a yard past 1,400 meters, Mina Salam. So, you know, even though the yard and the jockey are firing at the moment, I think he might be biting off a little bit more than he can chew. The only time he tried 2,000 meters, he emptied out tamely when he received weight from Street Art. So I'm not mad about number 6 Hoslo Grande, although I'm a fan of the horse. This is obviously it's a worthwhile experiment. If you don't try, you don't know. But I'm doubtful about number 6 Hoslo Grande. Your other horse, number 9 Battleground, absolutely goes in third run after a rest. The Futurists are relishing going up in distance at the moment with that horse Future Girl with Brett Crawford in Cape Town being a case in point. If you look at all the collateral form, funny enough, the run on the 22nd of February, Battleground just has the slightest edge at the weights over Banner Bridge, but then Banner Bridge has the edge at the weights in every other race that every other horse that he's met of late, even though he might have been beaten once or twice by some of them. He's got a valuable swing at the weights. For example, on the when was it, the 2nd of July, when he ran to Over to You, he's waited to turn that form around quite convincingly with Over to You. And there was another run which I saw on the 1st of June, Breeze Over, Absolute Value, Over to You, Banner Bridge, and a fraud. Breeze Over, to be fair, was unlucky that day, and so was Banner Bridge. I think they'll finish well in front of Absolute Value, Over to You, and a fraud. So my line of thinking here, yes, it's an open race, but in the opening leg of the pick six, these are the horses who I'm going to put in. Number 3 out of your league, 4 Breeze Over. I'm going to put number 6, Haslo Grande, in on your advice and on what I think of the horse, but he is the sort of last resort in this race, number 6, Haslo Grande. 7, Banner Bridge, definitely. 9, Battleground. And did I say number 3 out of your league? I did say number 3 out of your league. So those are the horses that I'm going to go in with in the first leg of the pick six. I'm going to try and go with less than half the field, so in Deez's rule book, we don't have to go field.
Yeah, it's definitely quite a competitive event, but Banner Bridge could be well weighted yet around 10-1, and he could possibly be worth an each-way play. His horse that does run well out the course.
Sorry, Raheel, just quickly with regard to Banner Bridge, he ran in the money every single start last season. His worst run was 5th. He was in the top 4 in every other start. He's in exactly the same place, expecting the same from him. If he doesn't win, he expected to be in the top 4 again, as is just his honesty dictates.
Yeah, he's a model of consistency, Banner Bridge, and what a wonderful horse to own. And Alistair Cohen is, I'm sure he's over the moon with this, what this horse has achieved in his career. 6-time winner already from 38 outings, and he could certainly notch up win number 7 soon. Moving along to race number 5, a novice handicap over 1,600 meters. 2 is the off time. Silver Sanctuary is your 28-10 favorite. It is 4-1 Napoleon, 5-1 American Biscuit. It's 7-1 about King's Express, Mo the Man, 10-1 and better bar those. We've got fillies taking on the Colts and Geldings in this event, but this filly, Silver Sanctuary, related to Safe Passage, won a nice race on debut, and I think all she could do was win. Forget about what was behind her. She beat past the baton, and she won quite convincingly. 1,600 meters should be no concern, but the only question mark for me, Alistair, would be how streetwise is she compared to the rest of the field that she does take on?
Your opening salvo with number 6, Silver Sanctuary, is absolutely spot on. Never mind what she beat, that's all she could do was win. Because she beat, dare I say, very, very average maidens, but the way she won was good. She could be anything, number 6, Silver Sanctuary. But my line of reading this race, now I sent the jackpot 1 is my suggested bet on this card, and I sent through my selections before the VAR race meeting on Thursday. Had I done it after the VAR race meeting on Thursday, I would have probably narrowed this race down. I've gone 5 horses. I probably would have narrowed it down to 3, with a very, very strong first selection in the form of number 1, American Biscuit. Gavin Larena takes it right for Tyrone Zaki. Now, last time, from the back of the field, from a bad draw, took his medicine, dropped in, and stayed on to an extent behind Perfect Witness. Now, right next to American Biscuit was Imperial Master, who won a race at the Val on Thursday, and must have been maybe 2, maybe 3 divisions stronger than what American Biscuit runs in today. I know American Biscuit has to give weight away, but these novice handicaps tend to be shallow. When you get sort of halfway down the weights, there's nothing down the lighter weights. I do like to shop around for horses with a light weight in handicaps, but in novice handicaps, the top weights just tend to be a little bit more untapped than the bottom weights. For example, you've got Lizardo, Black Lightning, Godfather, okay, Prince of Kildare may be the exception. They've had their chances and they've done very little. They're still one-time winners, whereas the top of the weights are more lightly raced individuals. So I think that tells you about the gulf and class between these horses. So number 1, American Biscuit, has over the last 24 hours become a very strong first selection. But my selections are going to reveal that 2, 5, 6 and 10 are in the hunt as well. Number 2, Mo the Man, if Haslo Grande runs well a race earlier, then number 2, Mo the Man, becomes a little bit more appetizing. But from the draw, I've put him in mainly because of his consistency rather than common sense. Number 5, Napoleon, is run to Royal Guide. Go watch that again. You'll probably have your own opinion. He was built for 200 meters. He had nowhere to go. So probably an unlucky not loser, but unlucky not to get right into the photo with Royal Guard last time. 6 Silver Sanctuary, only because she could be anything. And then number 10 on the card is also in, which is Black Lightning. I'm not mad about Black Lightning, if I'm honest, because I think that when the sting is out the ground, he'll be a better horse, but he still showed enough last time out to follow up.
You know what's quite interesting? This horse Napoleon, he was set to run, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, Royal Guide, Celestial City, they both ran on the same day and they won at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, and I thought this horse could not lose. He was an absolute penalty kick, but unfortunately was scratched. But my thinking is, could he be just a brass, Alistair?
His numbers reveal that he might be a brass, but his last run was too good to ignore it. Yeah, he looked like a certainty when he was carded to run the other day, but sadly that didn't come to fruition. So another roll of the dice. One time winner from 20 starts. Maybe you are right about Napoleon, but just on what people saw last time, you'd loathe to leave him out. Yeah,
absolutely. Napoleon 4-1 in the market, and he could certainly be the right horse in the race. But American Biscuit, his form line has been franked, and he's going to be the top selection for Alistair, around 5-1 in the market from the Tyrone Zaki yard. Moving along to race number 6, 1400 meters a trip. It's a fillies and mares 84 handicap, and here it is a field of 8 runners that go to post. Favorite number 5, Call Me When You Need Me at 2-1. 7-2, Sharapova, Queen of Camelot 6-1, and Better Bar Those. Now, Call Me When You Need Me show that 1,000 meters is not her best. 1,400 meters, she absolutely romped home to victory, beating Sea Anemone. She won by 2 lengths, but the handicapper hasn't been kind. He said, no problem, I'll give you 7 points for that victory. So she's, I would say she's got a bit of a tougher ask now. This filly Sharapova, obviously quite highly rated by the yard, well-bred daughter of Karari, that's returning off a layoff, but JP aboard, she's got a good draw. She could be just about anything.
I like a horse here, it's number 7, Queen of Camelot, out of draw 1. Her last run, she stayed on nicely behind Ivy League when Ivy League's expected to go through the divisions and be feature race material. Whether she gets there or not, I don't know. But her runs to White Pearl, especially her anti-penultimate run on the 23rd of May, when she gave White Pearl 3 kilos and got to within a quarter of a length, I think there's a lot of untapped potential with number 7, Queen of Camelot. I'm not quite all in on her because I've gone 5, 6, and 7 in my jackpot, and they'll be my numbers in the pick 6 as well. So the other 2 horses that you spotted here, but I think number 7, Queen of Camelot, is now just about popping and just about ready to win. So she's going to be a reasonable bet in this race. 5, Call Me When You Need Me. The last run was good. You're right about the handicapper giving her a big penalty, so she has to rise up a division. It is a steep rise in division as well, because to go from racing against Sea Anemone to Sharapova, I think Mike de Kock will tell you there's a bit of a gulf in quality between those 2. So, what she did last time was encouraging to the eye. She went the trip with no fuss whatsoever. She'll probably get a mile on the evidence of that run as well, but life is a little bit harder for her this time around. And number 6, Sharapova, if not needing the run, I can see her being dangerous. She might be a run short of her absolute best, but I think there's just less chinks in the armor of number 7, Queen of Camelot, than anyone else. So I'll make her the horse they need to beat.
And to add to Queen of Camelot, she beat Callum Moretta, who did win the debutante stakes on Gold Cup Day, winning a Group 2, so that certainly will enhance her chances. And draw number 1, huge advantage with Richard Fourie in the irons. Race number 7, a fillies and mare, 66 handicap, 1,400 meters the trip for this contest that jumps at 20 past 3. Gilda Gray 18-10. Try Me, your second favorite, at 22-10. It's 11-2 about Big City Girl, 6-1, and Better Bar Those. Now Gilda Gray at the top of betting boards. Good last start behind Quiet Rebellion. And obviously this filly, Try Me, 10-1 in the market. She was unfancied on that day, but she happened to come through to win. I'm not quite sure what to make of this race, Alistair. I must be honest. It's either 1 and 2, or it's the whole field, I would say.
I've got 1, 2, and 9 in my jackpot, but you've got to probably leave it open-ended if there's something that strikes punters as a run. I'm actually looking again closely at this race, Raheel. I'm having a very, very tough time to actually be confident with anything. It's not a matter of drawing a line through anything, saying they can't win. It's more a matter of that they're all pretty much in the same boat. I mean, Gilda Gray is the favourite, a filly who's been on the boil for as long as her, and yes, her and good enough to respect. When a 44 starts, 3-time winner 5-year-old mares at the top of the board with 59.5 kilos of a rating of 65, you know that you're probably in a bit of a tight spot. So, yes, she's in the race. She's a player. Whether she can get the job done, I don't know. She's travelled quite a lot during the winter. Fani Bronco's horses are running very well. If not winning, they seem to be right there. She is just an absolute trademark of how everything of Fani's is doing at the moment. So I respect her chances, but boy, I couldn't possibly have a bet on her at the top of the board. Number 1, Try Me, won't be easy off top weight, but it was a good win beating Babylon last time out. Johan Janssen van Vuren actually expected her to go well, and he thinks that Try Me is a useful filly. He thinks that she'll be quite a lot of fun and win a couple of races along the way. This will be a nice test for her. And then right down the bottom of the weights, number 9, Big City Girl. This is one of the first times in a long time that she's not racing under sufferance. Her last run, she stayed on very, very well behind Flag Bearer. She had no right to run where she did going through the final 400 meters, but she did. But along her career, she is flattered to deceive. That's her style. She runs on well. You rub your hands and think, right, next time she runs, it's game over. And it is game over, but not for, rather game over for the punters and not for Big City Girl. So I hope that she hasn't bluffed us again. I'm going to go in with her again as an inclusion, but can't be confident. It is not this is the least prettiest race on the card.
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy contest, and hard to sort of have too much of confidence on any runner in this event. Race number 8, 1400 meters a trip, another fillies and mares event. 68 handicap, 5-4 the off time. Maboneng, your 18-10 favorite, 7-2 about Mama Quera, 9-2 Written in the Sand, 8-1 and better bar those. Last time out, we obviously were of the opinion that Maboneng is quite vulnerable to improving sorts, and the punter still came for in a big way, shortened into favorite, and it was case in point. She was beaten 4 lengths behind Key Element and improving sort, and yeah, I'm happy to take on once again 60 kgs on the back. I think she's vulnerable. I think this mare, Mama Quera, is well teed up to notch up win number 5 here. Drawn in 2 last time out. I'm willing to forgive her for that run. It's an absolute jockey strike with Gavin Lerena aboard. Course and distance suits. I think she's a horse to beat. And at around 7-2, how confident can you be on a horse that has had a long drought of 749 days? I'm not too sure, but I think it's the right horse in the race.
Raheel, I must be honest, I was a short head away from bankering number 2, Maboneng, in my play, but the draw worries me. The fact that she's probably in her place worries me, but we got the Richard Faree factor. Now it's up to Richard. That's the bottom line. Richard, go. I can't tell you anything from draw 10 out of 10. Just go and be Richard. And if it works out, it works out. Maboneng wins. And if it doesn't work out, it could get ugly. So it's win or bust probably for number 2, Maboneng. She probably doesn't go down narrowly into second. She probably either does too much or too little from the bad draw and doesn't get into it, or Richard Faree shows that he is certainly the man that they need to beat this season. So, and another factor, Sean Tarry, although he is at work at the moment, August is traditionally the don't get hold of Sean Tarry month, because he generally takes his family on holiday. He's unreachable, and then the system starts sort of building from September. But I see Sean's around, so maybe he's really giving it a go for 12 months this year. Not that he doesn't give it a go for 12 months, but generally August he just leaves to their own devices. For example, he's only had 8 runners so far this season, so he is a quiet starter to the season. That might be a little bit of a niggle in the back of the mind. The backup then to number 2, Maboneng, or 5, Mama Quera, as you mentioned, combination of a winner on Thursday with Diesel Shadow. Consistent, banging at the door. Will she get the job done? Don't know, but with Gavin Lerena now in the irons, there's got to be some sort of positivity. And then number 6, Written in the Sand. Not her last run, actually a penultimate run, is the one that appeals most to me. First of all, her rating has plummeted in 3 starts from a 71 to 61. As a result, she's finishing closer. Penultimate start, she finished 7 lengths to She's a Rainbow, who won a race a good division and a half stronger, maybe 2 divisions stronger than this. So I think number 6, Written in the Sand, is a player. She's average, but I think she can go well. So, Maboneng, a very ginger top choice, but 5 and 6 big players. In fact, number 6, Written in the Sand, the more I look at her, the more I actually like her.
Yeah, Written in the Sand at around 9-2 in the mark. She's found a bit of support from around 5-1, and maybe this could be the right type of race for her to strike on a mark of 61, race number 8. Race number 9, the final race on the day, jumps at 4:30, 1160 meters. Fillies and mares, 72 handicap to close off proceedings on the day. It's a huge field that go to post, a field of 16 runners. Number 2, Wings Within Me, your favorite, at 7-2. Dennis Schwartz now rides. One Fell Swoop, 4-1. Simply Magic, 6-1. Nettleton, 8-1. 12-1, and Better Bar those. Alistair, what's your take on the final race on the day? Because I think you possibly need a few horses in the last leg of the exotics.
You definitely do, but if she runs, I think number 11, Feather the Nest, is the value. Go watch her on Thursday at the Val. She ran into a lot of traffic up the inside rail, as so many did. She'll be very fit. She's drawn hard up on the outside, which is the place to be. You can't be confident with a horse, a 6-year-old mare who hasn't won in 500 days, but I think that she represents the value in a big field. Put it like this, you'll get 4 places in this race. I think she'll run into the first 4 if she runs. Number 11, Feather the Nest. I think number 7, One Fell Swoop, she's got to be better than all these horses. She's also drawn towards the outside. Her first run in Joburg was a commanding win over Elysia's Love. There have been winners left, right and centre out of that form. So probably the more natural first selection would be number 7, One Fell Swoop. But I have respect for quite a few. I think number 6, Simply Magic's a runner. 2 Wings Within Me, I don't know. Chocolate Bomb won subsequently. I suppose number 2, Wings Within Me's got to go in. But if you consider Wings Within Me of 60 kilos and 58.5 on the back of One Fell Swoop, I'd probably be more inclined to think that number 7, One Fell Swoop, will have number 2, Wings Within Me's number. 3, Dancing Dora's got to be a chance. I said number 6, Simply Magic. 9, Law of Success, I will include as well. 12, Red Carpet Girl, lost it at the start last time out. She's worth another chance, by the way. Number 12, Red Carpet Girl. And then maybe just looking for some that have done me a favour. Maybe number 15, Mix the Magic, at any price could also fill the top 4. So, instinct tells me 7, One Fell Swoop will win it, but number 11, Feather the Nest, I think will be the value in the race.
Yeah, that's Feather the Nest, and we'll keep a close eye on if she does take a place in the race. She's been priced up at around 12-1, and she has placed up the course as well, so maybe she could offer you a bit of value in the final race on the day, which does look to be quite a trappy contest. But Alistair with number 7, One Fell Swoop as the tentative first selection. We're going to move along to the suggested bet, and Alistair's suggested bet is Jackpot 1. So Alistair, take it away with Jackpot 1.
Starts at 10 Park 2 on the Saturday, on this double-header Saturday, where the Premier League also starts, so the soccer pools will be big, so everything feels good again with the world. First leg of the jackpot, race 5, I've gone 1 American Biscuit, 2 Mo the Man, 5 Napoleon, 6 Silver Sanctuary, and 10 Black Lightning. By 5, 6, and 7, Call Me When You Need Me, Sharapova, and Queen of Camelot. Race 7, Horrible Race, 1 Try Me, 2 Gilda Grey, and 9 Big City Girl, my numbers. And then the final leg of the jackpot, 2 Maboning, 5 Mama Quera, and 6 Written in the Sand. But as I mentioned, the more I look at that race, the more I actually think Written in the Sand is the right one.
Yeah, Written in the Sand, and maybe you could even take a chance in that leg and possibly to take your chances and bank a Written in the Sand. But Alistair, thanks for your time, and obviously, hopefully we managed to guide the guys in the right direction. But touching on the Premier League, Aston Villa fan, what's your hopes for the season?
Oh, we'll win it. No. Man City, very hard to beat. I expect Liverpool to improve and sort of be where Arsenal were last season and troubling Man City. I think United and Arsenal are going to have good seasons. I think Tottenham and Chelsea are in disarray. And Newcastle, Villa probably punching above their weight again, competing for the top 4 with a bit of luck, maybe with one of the other clubs sort of having a flat season. One of them can get into the top 4. City from Liverpool, I'm actually going to tell Aston Villa in the top 4. Can you believe it? Villa in the top 4, maybe with United.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be an interesting season. I think Liverpool win it this season. I think they've got the right squad, and yeah, happy to take City on. City obviously worthy favourites, and they're looking for yet another title under Pep. But it's going to be an interesting season, and if you're a Premier League fan, if you're a soccer fan at all, it's certainly going to be one hell of a season to take note of and watch. Alistair, thanks very much. All the best, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the call at Hollywoodbets Durbanville tomorrow.
Cheers, Rahil. Looking forward to it all. Lovely chatting, and we'll catch up again soon.
Thanks very much, Alistair Cohen. All the best, guys, with racing on Saturday. Hollywoodbets Durbanville and out at Turffontein. 9 races on the program, and hopefully Alistair and myself have managed to find you the winners.